And I'm Gracie Pete.
This is Shanna's story. Shanna had a son named Owen. Owen was described by his mom as outgoing, fun, likable, kind, and genuine. Owen was a very active teen, being involved in his school and social life, having many friends that sought him out for comfort and support. As she tells her story, some of her fondest memories of him are when he's telling jokes, dancing, and being there for others when they were feeling down. As any mother would be so proud of their son. When she thinks about her son, she simply says, there aren't enough words to describe Owen as a person. Unfortunately, all Shauna has left of her son are memories. Owen lost his battle with mental health just 2 weeks after he turned 15 by committing suicide.
Shanna shares her son's story because she wants to humanize mental health illnesses and wants families to feel comfortable seeking help. This story is just one of many found on familiesfordepressionawareness.com. This story opens our eyes to the realness and relevance of mental health struggles teens face across the country.
Through our research, we found that, according to cdc.gov, ADHD, behavior problems, anxiety, and depression are the most commonly diagnosed mental disorders in children in the U.S. today. Among these disorders, depression is the leading cause of disability for people over 5 years of age in the U.S.
This is where we identified our concern. These statistics show that depression among teens is very present in today's society and is affecting teens nationwide. Another way that mental illness is affecting our youth is the linkage to suicide. According to AmericanHealthRankings.org, suicide was the second leading cause of death for teens in the ages of 15 to 24 in 2017. In 2019, a youth behavioral risk factor survey indicated that 18.8% of high schoolers seriously considered suicide and 8.9% attempted suicide.
In addition to suicide, depression in teens is also known to have more negative effects in other parts of their lives, including decreased success in school, work, and relationships with others. It also can lead to an increase in substance abuse and a higher chance of it occurring again later in life. These concerns are the reason why we chose this topic and feel strongly about helping teens to see the warning signs and to get help.
Teen depression and mental illness concerns links with many family and consumer science standards, including National Standard 14.1.1, which is to explain physical, emotional, social, psychological, cultural, and spiritual components of individual and family wellness. Another standard it reflects is National FCS Standard 12.1.2, which is to analyze interrelationships among physical, emotional, social, moral, cognitive aspects of human growth and development. These standards reflect the purpose of FCS education and FCCLA, which is to strengthen the family as a basic unit of society. It also reflects several FCS career pathways in the human growth and development strand of FCS education.
Our goal for this presentation is to bring awareness to teen depression and help teach teens how to prevent and overcome mental health illnesses with healthy practices. We did this by researching about risk factors, warning signs, and prevention tips.
Through our research, we found some common risk factors and causes for depression that are split into 3 categories. The first category is biological factors, which include low levels of certain hormones like serotonin. The second category of factors is psychological, which included low self-esteem, poor body image, stress and body changes, and hormonal changes due to puberty. Environmental is the third category of factors, which include abuse, death of a loved one, being a victim of bullying or cyberbullying, social media usage, abusing drugs and alcohol, and having an unstable home life.
One suggested cause that stuck out to us through our research was the rise in teen depression and suicide due to the use of social media. According to ncbi.gov, 97% of teens between the ages of 13 to 17 use at least one type of social media outlet daily. One study showed that teens that spend at least 2 hours a day on social media led to increased suicidal and depressive behaviors. A major finding in our research was that teens who suffered from social media depression also had poor sleep patterns. According to NorthwestPrimaryCare.com, a recent study showed that teens who use social media for 5 or more hours a day were 70% more likely to fall asleep later and get less sleep, which led to increased anxiety and depression.
These findings were very eye-opening to us and helped us in putting together some prevention tips for teens. These tips include manage your stress by practicing self-care and positive self-talk. Build positive relationships and friendships and don't isolate yourself. Move your body and exercise. Cut back on social media usage. Avoid drugs and alcohol. Get 8 hours of sleep every night. And set a timeline for your phone usage before bed.
To put out our plan into action, we set up times with certain classes to present our findings and to share our information with them. Our goal was to reach out to as many teens as possible in several different grade levels. Since FCS classes have a wide variety of ages and fit into the curriculum, we decided on presenting to a nutrition and wellness class, human growth and development class, and a middle school science class. We handed out these pocket reminders to all 3 classes.
For evaluation of our presentation, we decided to conduct a survey that all students had to fill out after the presentation. The results we got were very eye-opening and really made us feel like we made a difference in encouraging and spreading awareness of mental illness in teens.
The results reflected that 89.7% of the students that heard the presentation learned something they didn't know about how our society and teens are affected by mental illness. The survey also reflected that 90% of the students taking the survey have experienced or know someone who has suffered from mental illness, which reflects the importance of spreading education about this topic.
So now you're wondering, how can I help? How can I help those like Shayna and Owen? You can help by seeing the warning signs in others or yourself and taking action. Warning signs include crying for no reason, being irritable, loss of interest with family and friends, low self-esteem, poor performance in school, use of drugs or alcohol, self-harm, tiredness, and angry outbursts. If you or one of your friends are displaying these unusual behaviors, don't be afraid to seek help and honor Shayna's wish of humanizing mental health and helping families in our nation find help.
How should you help a friend with depression? Talk, listen, encourage, and tell.
Have a conversation with them. Listen and support them through hard times. Encourage them to seek help. And tell an adult if your friend is suicidal.
Some skills that we both improved upon during our project is public speaking and self-advocacy. We learned that it's important to tell others if you are feeling depressed, otherwise they won't know that you're struggling.
An obstacle that challenged us during our project was making our presentation sensitive towards those who have struggled or are currently struggling with a mental illness.
Thank you.